Oakley dokley, let's go ahead and do a character creation. We're going to run through it real fast just in case you guys have any trouble with anything. And also, there's a few things that only happen during character creation that's pretty important, so I'm going to lay it out. We got Bobby Boy here. We're going to go ahead and run down the list of things to do. We're going to start with background, then immediately forget it. This is only if you cannot think of a background story for you. This will pre-generate one for you. Obligation and duty. Don't worry about duty. That's for the Rebel. That's for the Rebel book. If you really want to do something out of the duty obligation side or the duty side, talk to me about it, but we'll just generally stick with obligation. Really quickly run through obligation, what that does. Everybody will start with a minimum of 1 obligation with a minimum size of 5. The size is determined by the likelihood of your obligation coming up. I roll a D100, and if I increase that, there's a higher chance that your obligation will be hit. A few things about this. Obligations are like pretty much mini quests for your individual characters. That usually comes from your background and it's something that you're playing towards or trying to get rid of, whatever. For example, we'll just use criminal. If you are, let's say, a criminal on a planet and you can go to that planet and prove that you're innocent, then your obligation is removed. Also, you will obtain obligations throughout your play too. Let's say you take on debt. You just take on debt. That'll be your new obligation. Based on how much debt you take, it'll increase the size of your obligation, making it come up more and more and more. I'll say this right now. Obligations, even though they're an individual thing, they will affect the party generally. The reason being is because, for example, let's say we have a bounty hunter after you. It's going to generally come after the entire party. Even though it might just capture the individual, you're still going to probably have to deal with the bounty hunter as a group. This is a great built-in mechanic that stops people from being horrible players. The reason I say that is because, let's say you went around and you started killing a whole bunch of people, well, you'd become a criminal, and that can increase. Then if you don't deal with that, then they can send bounty hunters after it. Then you can get bad reputation. All these things will increase your chances of obligations coming to affect you and the party. Another thing real quick, you may do this. You may take on 2 obligations, and you'll see right here, they'll allow you to take 5 XP or 1,000 credits for starting, or you may increase one of your obligations up to 10, and that'll also make it so you can do 5 more XP or 1,000 more credits. Just note, if everybody did this out of 4 players, that's bringing it pretty much a 40% chance that you guys are going to get hit on your obligations. Let's move over to species. Species are pretty self-explanatory. They all have different stats, different abilities, and different starting XP. Based on how good it is or how many abilities you get is less XP you'll start with. Pretty simple. Just look what you like. Alright, next thing is careers. You can do anything on the careers. You can play anything you want. The only thing I'll note that is when you take a career, you have specializations within that career tree. So let's say we'll take spy, and that you have scout, slicer, all those things. This game, you can build your guy to be however you want it to be. You can be a spy doctor, you can be a hired gun, preacher, I don't know. You can design however you want. But I will say this, if you are a spy, and so here's a scout, so that scout's your specialization, here's your tree. You do not have to fill out this entire tree to start a new tree. If you go to scout and let's say I'm done doing everything I want in that tree, now I want to switch positions or switch specializations. If you pick a specialization that's in the same career, it costs less XP to do that. If you pick a specialization that's in a different career, it costs a lot more to do that. So the reason I say this is because usually I say map out what you want to play as. So if you want to, let's say, be a sharpshooter / doctor, well, look at, you have sharpshooter right here. And then once you get that tree filled out where you want to, you can start a new tree as medic. Side note, once you start a new tree, you keep the same trees. So you just add more trees to it. So if you're not done filling out your medic one and you want to switch to another one, you can keep on filling it. You just add more trees. All right, so we'll go ahead into motivations. This is not really important either. This is more Flavor Flav. This is basically if you can't think of a reason why your character is out in space doing what they need to do, this is it. Skills. This is important about character generation because you can only increase these skills up to a level 2 or rank 2. So you see I got +1 in brawn already just because I'm a Wookiee, and I want to increase it. I can only go up to rank 2. So if I want to do this one, I can only go up to rank 2 during character creation. Once character creation is over and you have XP, you can do more. We'll jump back a little bit. We'll go to careers and we'll pick a force using peeps. You'll see that morality is a new one that popped up. Morality is pretty much the thing that you have trouble dealing with. So for example, Anakin's, he was always afraid that he was going to lose Padme, so he was always paranoid, and that was his downfall. That was his thing that he had to balance, but he didn't. So you can pick something like this. You don't necessarily have to have a morality. This is just something that's kind of iconic towards you that you struggle bus with. Basically, the way it works is you can, whenever you use a force power, you have to roll a force die, and you generate either dark side or light side points. If you are using a force ability that requires a light side point and you only generate dark side, you can still use that force ability, but you'll take strain and you'll go down in morality because you used the dark side or you fell towards your emotions in order to complete that force power. Alright, next thing we're going to go to is equipment. For equipment, you can buy anything you want. You will all start with 500 credits, and you can purchase anything you want, but as long as it does not have this symbol right here, or in the book it shows an R, which means restricted. So you guys can purchase anything you want. After character generation, you will get to roll a 1d100, and that'll be your starting credits. So if you don't spend all your credits here, that will roll over to the 1d100 amount that you'll get after character generation. Alright, you can also probably, you can get droids and stuff like that, or if you want to do like a little Beastmaster / droid companion thing, talk to me about it. There are things you can do. If there's anything I missed or anything you wanted me to talk about that I didn't, just go ahead and message me, and yep.